You guys make light conversation along the journey. I mean, that covers even more than the first half. But the thing that you're seeing really is, not to keep belaboring the point, but a continuation of what you've seen to this point, which is not a ton of travelers between towns. People mostly keeping to themselves, wishing to stay within the havens of surrounded company. The handful of travelers you do see don't seem to have any like defining characteristics to them. They seem to be adults. You've only seen a handful of children in your travels mostly to this point. They occasionally wave to you. They seem cordial. But for the most part, it's relatively quiet in this entire region, and that goes for just the surroundings too. The plains don't have a whole lot going for them as far as landmarks or scenery. There are some trees and whatnot, so they're thinly scattered about, but for the most part, a quiet afternoon journey as you make your way to Glen Cogo and head towards the dinner time hours. So we switch back to the farm. Lunch is also delicious. We will fast forward past it for the sake of expediency. Afterwards, your mother basically asks the two of you if you'll help her with some stuff around the house, because Grail, as you're all too familiar with, the place just gets dusty a lot. If they ever want to open up the windows and let some fresh air in, the whole surrounding area is basically just dirt and grass in one form or another. So the inside is always a struggle. And now the most exciting montage of all is the dusting montage. I know no one will remain seated for this.
Nope.
But I'll have the two of you just to do something different. I don't fucking...
You gotta give the feather duster to Lena. Then she turns into a tiny dragon and then just flies around the house.
I was actually thinking of doing that, like flying up into the high spots.
No. She could just turn into a tiny, a very shaggy dog, and then run around the ground for a little while, and then go out and jump into a
I wish
pool of
I
water.
had a dog form. I don't have one though. I only have giant wolf, which would probably break down the house.
It probably knocks over more things than it
Probably
does.
not. No.
That would be.
You're gonna turn into a direwolf and threaten the dust bunnies out of the house.
Growl. Yeah, no. I kind of want to turn into a tiny dragon and fly around with the duster.
Okay. Easy enough. Grail, you're going to stay in your human form?
Yeah.
I mean, you can disguise yourself as another humanoid. Doesn't really help with the aerial dusting, per se, but...
I don't know if I want to alarm my family any further.
That's probably fair.
Yeah.
I'm going to have the two of you make dexterity checks again.
You could use Mage Hand on the feather duster, though, to get the high spots as well.
Also true. Yeah, that's true. I could do that. Try out my magic a little more. 17.
15?
Okay. Afternoon chores go by easily enough. You know, occasionally there's a small threat of a mishap, like, you know, you're in your pseudo-dragon form. You're not really used to doing stuff like this in it, so you almost knock something off a mantle, but you catch it. It's fine. But, you know, you get a little too aggressive with your dusting. And
Yeah, I want it to be spotless. I'm going to be really aggressive about this.
Such aggressive dusting.
There's a speck of dust in this house, I swear to God. Takes the better part of the afternoon, but you guys make good progress both in the upstairs and the downstairs while your mom finishes up some of the mending she was working on. And as you guys are finishing up, she comes up to, I guess we'll say you finished in your room, Grail. And she kind of looks in and just says, "Y'all are doing some mighty fine work. I appreciate it."
And I just kind of smile and say, anything for you guys, of course. It's the least I could do.
I would ask you a favor.
Anything.
I don't want your last night to be having to be put to work, so how's about this? How about you play us some music while we get supper ready, for old time's sake, and maybe get a little bit of entertainment to break up the quiet around here.
And I totally brighten at this and say, I would love that. and I haven't actually played it in a while. So I kind of we finish up, and then I'll go upstairs and grab my banjo.
I'll get my ocarina ready because I also haven't played it in forever. So.
Okay. I'll have the two of you make a performance check.
It
Could be the most critical role of the montage.
Oh
no!
I have a big scare. Okay, just a second.
If only you had
Again,
luck.
for no particular reason, Lena at the end of this picks up her ocarina over her head.
13
But
for
then
me.
it floats above her arms mysteriously by about 2 feet and rotates slowly. 15
11.
and 11.
13 for me.
Oh, well, 13. I mean, no. As your mom is getting stuff ready for what looks to be a much more elaborate meal than the last couple nights, although it kind of mirrors the first night when, she was trying to show off a bit, I guess, to the guests. You guys played together for the first time in a while. I think you only had the one time before.
I think so. Yeah, it's
in
been a
camp
while.
way back when.
Mm-hmm.
So it takes a little bit just to kind of get used to jamming with each other, but eventually you kind of pick up on each other's rhythm and you're able to kind of improvise your way through some songs, play a couple of familiar ones that you both have heard of, and it turns out to be a pretty nice performance. Nothing else, Grail, the thing you notice is it's has sort of a soothing effect on your mom in that she doesn't seem like she's been on edge all day, but just like there's this familiarity to it that sort of like the effects that you've been having off and on over the last few days seems to strike her as well.
Mm-hmm.
You could almost catch just the hint of one speck of one tear in the side of her eye. Whether
Aww.
it's memory lane or just wistful thinking about the future. I would also say, as you guys are finishing up, both of you make a perception check.
Okay.
Okay, you hear footsteps.
24.
9 for me.
Grail, you're too engrossed in the music to notice much of anything else. Lena, as you're finishing up playing and just kind of enjoying yourself and getting ready for the fact that you're kind of hungry and ready for supper, you could swear out of the corner of your eye that you see movement outside the ranch. It's nothing more than what almost you would think to be like a shadow moving by one of the windows in the now fading light of the afternoon going into the evening. But you could swear. You're relatively perceptive overall. You could swear you saw something. You don't know what, but some kind of movement picked it up.
Outside the house or outside like the ranch, like the fence line?
It's hard to tell for sure, but it was not a large shadow. It was something that was smaller. So it could be that it's close and small, or it could be that it's a ways off.
I don't like that. I'm going to immediately get up, go to the window, and quickly say something. I'll say something along the lines of like, I just saw something outside. I'm going to check it out. And then I'm going to turn into dragon form and fly off.
This is just like Get Out.
Wait, which dragon form? Because
Tiny dragon
Okay,
form.
yeah,
I don't
I
want to
was-
be a giant thing that like breaks down the house.
I was
you know?
also going to ask.
I was just gonna love it if you were like, you just threw the ocarina on the ground, dire wolf through the window. And you're just like, who's there?
no, better. Direwolf through the window, and then as she's flying through the window, transforms into the ginormous dragon.
And it's just her dad, and she crushes him. Ah!
So I am going to kind of follow suit. Obviously, not change into a dragon, but I will I'll kind of like set my banjo and like immediately stand and head over to the door.
I pocketed my ocarina, by the way.
Okay.
It's on my person at all times.
All right. Into the dragon pocket it goes.
Yes. We're not going to ask how that works.
It's fine. We don't ask how Link holds 300 items, so it's fine.
Magic.
Yeah.
Or how his stupidly heavy boots somehow work fine when she's just got him in his bag. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't make him sink to the bottom of the lake temple. Yeah. Outside, off in the distance, Lena, you see what appears to be It's hard to tell for sure from this distance, but what appears to be multiple humanoid figures near the fence on the north side of the property. The sheep are relatively close to here, but not like directly in front of that. They're in the area. But for the most part, especially with the fading light, difficult to tell, but there are definitely at least 4 figures approaching.
Okay. I'm gonna...
And Grail, you can sort of kind of make these out from further back as well. The sheepdog attacks the figures. Welcome to Dungeons and Dragons, where everything's made up and the sounds do matter.
Yeah.
I'm gonna... I think I'm gonna fly a little closer and see if maybe I can recognize some of the figures. Like if it's the same people from yesterday plus a couple extras. And then from there I'll probably transform again. But I want to at least see who we're dealing with a little bit.
Okay, make a stealth check.
Stealth. Okay, hold on. Let me find dragon. Sorry, stealth you said? Okay.
Yep.
That is a 12.
As you fly to get a closer look, obviously not up next to them, I know, but as you just fly closer to cover some of the distance a bit to see more of what's happening, it is indeed 4 figures, still humanoid. None of them match the description of the 2 you saw yesterday. Well, was it yesterday? Yeah, yesterday. Appears to be a different group. And for the first time in a while, the one thing you do pick up as a characteristic that's distinct about all of them is that they are all wearing Blades armor.
Okay.
I am so sorry for delaying us this morning, guys.
It's been a minute since you've seen these, but you would not forget the familiar black stained leather armor.
Yeah.
I'm quick. Oh, she can't respond to me in English or in common if I send a message to her, right? As a dragon.
Can't they?
I can
back?
understand it, but
No, it's whispering.
I can't.
Yeah, it's
speak
whispering.
it.
And I think she's
Okay.
probably outside your range anyways. 120 feet, 150 feet.
Oh my god.
Something like
and
that,
thus
yeah.
starts the assault on precinct 13. Stalling
120
until we
feet.
get
Yeah,
back.
she's beyond that reach of that by now. Either way, so
Okay.
it's-
So I can see the movement, right?
yeah, and you're starting to pick up on the fact that this is indeed 4 figures of some kind. You are
Okay.
obviously you can't even really you can maybe barely make out the armor, but from your distance, it's probably a guess at best.
So as soon as I see that they're Blades armor, I'm gonna turn into a dire wolf.
Okay.
And I am going to get on the porch, come forward. I'm going to close the door behind me. And my parents, I'm going to make sure they're back. And I am just going to straight up yell, who is that? Who comes here?
So between this pseudo dragon that only one of them had even noticed and hadn't really perceived as a threat yet, turning into a dire wolf and thumping on the ground, in front of them, a ways forward still, but so between a dire wolf suddenly appearing and now someone yelling from the porch, you do notice that the 4 of them kind of freeze up if they're like mid-step. You know how like those cat videos, they pop out with the camera and the cat freezes and then they pull back and the cat moves forward and you pop out again, the cat's still in the identical pose but closer.
Mm-hmm.
It's essentially like the last step of that where they stop moving forward. And Lena, at least from your range, you can kind of hear them murmuring amongst themselves.
Yeah.
Difficult to find out exactly what, but you would suspect it's something along the lines of, what the fuck?
That's fair.
They do not respond to your yelling, your herald of sorts, Grail.
Yeah. I'm going to... Let's see here. I'm going to run out towards them. And I'm gonna yell, "Hey, I'm talking to you."
I'm also going to, if they aren't like doing anything by the fence, I am gonna. Can I jump it? I bet I can. Right?
You can certainly try.
Kayla's gonna bark.
This is like
No, I want
really
to jump
animating,
over the
though.
fence and like block them from getting any closer. I want
Okay.
to kind of be in their way a little bit.
Make an acrobatics check.
Okay, hold on. Gotta find my.
Little dragon
Wolfie.
flies out, like low to the ground, then just like turns into a giant direwolf, still running, still going, then leaps over a fence.
Well, we
Guys are
think.
just gonna.
Oh wait, is it athletics or acrobatics?
Acrobatics.
Well, what if Wolfie doesn't have that?
It's just a strength check.
Oh, it's just a
Yeah.
strength check in
Or-
that case.
Wait, acrobatics? Yes.
Acrobatics is Dex.
Yeah.
Oh, it's Dex.
Yeah,
Okay.
there was no plus to it.
Okay. 10.
Okay. Luckily, these are not especially high fences because they're just meant to keep in the sheep by and large, and the sheep are not especially bright or adept at jumping over fences.
Mm-hmm.
Despite what they would lead you to believe about, counting sheep and stuff at night, they don't actually jump over that much. But you just barely clear the fence
Good.
and avoid smashing through a section and creating extra work for the family
That
that
would
you
be
just
so
you just
had just
sad.
fixed
Built.
the day before. Yeah.
Oh no.
Oh my god.
Their dire worm's pretty big, so it's pretty heavy, but it does manage to clear. And make a perception check.
Okay.
The grumbling and huddling between the four of them intensifies as this wolf jumps over the fence.
17.
The four of them, you can now see all human-ish, rather than humanoid. Human-ish meaning human, elvish, something that's human adjacent. 3 of them male, 1 female, all indeed in the Blade's armor. All of them have their hands on weapons at their sides, a couple of them on swords, a couple on crossbows. They seem unsure of what to make of this and just a little bit scared because of what's happened here.
Good.
Good. Exactly.
What are you going to do?
What am I going to do?
Uh-huh.
Oh, I'm
Flex
going
them
to...
pecs, girl.
Give him the teeth.
I
Give
am
him the teeth
gonna.
in the
I'm
ground.
definitely gonna like bare my fangs and kind of like snap at them a little bit because I want them to back off and preferably like run away. But I'm gonna act aggressive. I don't want them doing anything, so I'm gonna
Okay.
be up all in their face a little bit.
Make an intimidation check.
Okay. What if Wolfie doesn't have? Oh wait, yeah, I do. Never mind.
I say, I bet he
Wait.
does.
Oh, really?
Wait, that's intelligence. I don't have intimidation.
Well,
Wolfie.
It's
it's charisma.
Charisma? Okay. Oh man, charisma's garbage. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's a crit. I critted, but it's only a 19 because I have a negative in charisma.
still a 20.
But it's
Still a natural
still
20.
a natural 20.
So, Grail, as you continue running and are starting to get at least closer at this point as a double move of sorts, you're closing the ground a bit, and you look up and you see Lena leap over the fence, cleared in a single bound, and then there's this noise from her that you have not heard before. A low, guttural, protective-sounding growl that's almost more of a snarl. And, well, let's see. This is a crit, so they're going to need some help. Uh-huh. They're all rolling with disadvantage, BTW, because of the crit.
You're gonna need some new pants.
Yeah.
Good.
They do wear brown armor, right?
Yeah, they're about to. This is actually the genesis of UPS because it's a question of what can Brown do for them. You watch Lena and Grail. You can see this now too as you've closed the gap pretty significantly. 2 of them immediately turn and run, seemingly
Oh my god.
terrified by the sight of whatever this flying thing was turning into a wolf and bearing down on them at extreme speed. Whatever they were told was happening here, this was not on the list.
Good.
Love it.
Grail, you're sort of within range of doing a couple of things here. You're probably within like 100 feet. Is there anything you want to do as you're running up, or are you just going to yell at them?
Right now I'm just yelling, and I do have my hand on my rapier, but I haven't. I'm not gonna cast any spells or anything right now.
Okay. So two of them start kind of like heading off in the distance back towards the north and sort of trying to weave a bit, seemingly like trying to like, run away from something but not in a straight line, sort of using the trees and stuff that they're sparsely out here to duck behind and, get away. I will have each of you roll initiative.
Okay.
Oh, snap.
The two remaining ones will roll initiative. Okay.
23.
Because the two who did not run.
Oh, God, I crit failed.
You spent all your coolness on that. Now you're basking in the glory.
You
Oh,
crit
no.
fail on initiative.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that means his natural 2 is still going to go before you.
That's sad.
You do notice that the two who stayed have gone for their sword and crossbow, respectively. So, Grail, as you are now within 100 feet or so, you see them reaching for weapons. Two of them sticking around, seemingly at least not scared enough to bolt at this point. What would you like to do?
So I'm still 100 feet away. I kind of went for my rapier, but I probably don't have my short bow on me. I don't know why I would have, being in my family's house. So I'm gonna keep approaching and running. And I will also yell. Let's see, what am I gonna say? I think I'm gonna just say, "You ain't welcome here. Turn tail now, or fight.
Okay.
Surrender now or prepare to fight."
Right.
Meow.
Yeah,
that's
right.
right.
Oh my god.
Make another intimidation check.
Okay.
Normally, this could be an advantage in a situation like this. The fact that I'm even giving you one is going to be good enough on a straight roll, though, because you are not the most intimidating figure compared to a dire wolf. 12?
Yeah.
Wait,
I'm just hoping that, like, in addition to the dire wolf, they're
Right.
like, oh, somebody's saying something, and yeah.
The dire wolf didn't scare us, but the small thin woman is gonna kill the crap out of us. So
Well, it goes from like being maybe a wild animal that they could get around to like this thing could appear to be trained. So,
Which is why she had a shot at it. No. Nope. You see them hesitate for a second. Like, their weapons lower just a little bit as they're still kind of hesitating about what's going on here, but it seems like orders are orders, and they do not turn tail just yet.
Okay. Well, I'm still, like, bolting towards it. In fact, like, if I can, I want to use my dash, like, I'm making my way pretty boldly and recklessly right towards them.
Boldly dashing.
Boldly dashing.
That'll get you to the fence. You want to jump over it or stay behind it?
I'm jumping over.
All right, acrobatics.
I'm going. My goal is to get up to where Lena is.
Okay,
It's going to be hilarious to me if Michaela dodges the fence and Grill just goes.
16.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to kind of vault over the fence with relative ease. Again, not a super high one. It's really like waist height for you, if anything else, so maybe a little higher. So you very coolly flip over the fence on the other side, and you're able to get pretty much up to where Lena is. Maybe not right next to, but damn close.
Okay.
The two of them, are attacking this dire wolf because it's the thing.
Good.
One of them rolled a natural 5, so that's a no. But the one with the sword rolled a 20 to hit, which should hit.
Yeah, it does.
You take 9 points of slashing damage
Okie doke.
as the one with the sword dashes up to you, seemingly at least not afraid enough to be affected by this. And in the face of adversity, slashes across your wolf form. The one with the crossbow, however, fires a bolt that flies over your shoulder and misses.
Okay.
And now, Lena, you're up.
Awesome. I'm gonna bite at the one that hit me.
Okay. Swordman.
So the swordsman, yes. Hold on.
The other two bandits,
Screens are doing-
bandits, as it were, start running off, by the way. they continue going.
Good.
So the two that stayed
Okay.
stay, but the other
Yeah.
two are still. You can now see them kind of running off further.
A 9 to hit.
That does not hit.
Damn it. The damage would have been good too.
You
Do I
bite-
at least look intimidating?
You bite down very strongly. If anything had been in between your jaws as you did so, it would have been very devastating. Unfortunately, he sidesteps and moves out of the way.
I'm not happy about this.
Okay. Back to the top with Grail. Certainly
Okay,
in range now.
Okay, I am in range.
Yeah, if you want to run up to one of them in Rapier, you'll be certainly able to do so.
I will, and I am not holding back one bit for this guy. Whoever's closest, just gonna go for it.
Sword
so.
guy's a little closer if you want him. Crossbow
Yeah,
guy did
that's
not move as
fine.
far forward to attack.
And do I get? Well, it depends on if I actually hit, but 15 to hit.
15 does hit, and it is a
Okay.
sneak attack because Lena's
Yep.
next to him.
Great. Okay, let me go ahead and roll that as well. So that's an 8 plus 16.
24 damage.
Yup.
Lena, in your wolf form, as you kind of bite and miss, and or at least a little bit upset about it, you watch now as Grail, with maybe not surprising quickness because you've seen her in action before, but still it surprises you at how deftly she moves forward and skewers this blade. Point of rapier basically going through some vital organ in the chest area, and as she pulls back the rapier, he slumps on the ground and seems to not be moving.
Oh God! I'm so glad Isaac's not here.
He will
No.
be.
It'd be better because then you pull it out and just kind of look over and go, yeah, you know.
That's fine. You have 18 hours to
Yeah.
bury the body. It's not a big deal. Farmland, you can bury him anywhere. No one would discover. So yeah, he's dead on 24 damage, one attack.
Yikes.
Jesus Christ.
Anything else?
Am I within slashing range of the other guy?
No. But let's see. With the movement that you had, you you might be able to move up to the other one. Yeah, I think so. You have 30 feet, right?
Yes.
I think you could get there. He was about 4 spaces away.
Well, so actually, I'm gonna hold where at my position.
Okay. Last bandit's gonna think about this one more time. No, he's really, really dumb and really steadfast about this. Fires the crossbow at you now, Grail, because you've just skewered his friend, and he's not a big fan of that. That is a 16 to hit.
It hits.
You take 8
Just
points. 8 points of piercing damage
Okay.
as you're pulling this blade out and feeling cool about yourself. A crossbow bolt lodges in your shoulder all of a sudden, and
Cool.
kind of just it makes your recoil just a little bit, like nothing terrible, but you feel it. And the other two continue running off in the distance. They have not been inspired to turn back. Lena.
Okay. How close am I to the cross? Or how far is the crossbow dude from
20
me?
feet, maybe.
20 feet.
Easy
Okay.
to get to for sure.
I'm gonna run up to him
Okay.
and then try to bite again. Yeah.
Bound over.
Yes. All right. Come on, bite. Hit something. Okay. 23.
That hits.
Okay. 9 piercing.
Okay. And he has to make
He has
strength
a
saving throw?
DC 13 strength saving throw.
Nope.
Okay. Sweet.
That is a 6 plus. Certainly not going to be enough. 0. So this time, bite connects, finds its mark, and the sheer force of it and the size of your dire wolf knocks him onto the ground, where he is now sitting prone. And Grail.
So when that happens, I have this like moment where I kind of like snap out of this like weird, like cold-blooded, like whoa moment, and I am gonna remember that these are blades, and I should probably not kill and maybe capture and get information. So I am going to, with being 30 feet away, I'm going to cast sleep on this remaining guy.
Okay.
Isaac is on one shoulder and Tessian's on
I
the
know,
other.
I know.
But which one's the fairy and which one's the devil?
And Isaac's like,
Yeah.
now Grail, and Tessian's like, kill him! Kill him! Kill him!
Really? Tessium's the one who's going with the cat? That's fine. That's fine. I'm a little offended.
That's true.
I'm a little hurt.
Karash is a little more bloodlusty than Tessium.
Yes.
But that's fine.
That's not even true. I'm a little bit more like, gotta kill a guy.
What it means is Grail doesn't care about Karash.
Wow.
Oh no.
Oh.
The effect is 21.
21 with the damage that he
HP.
took. As Lena bites into him and he falls over, you can see him sort of like trying to scurry away on the ground. He's got his hands behind him as he's sitting on his rear. And as you cast the spell, you watch as all of a sudden he just kind of goes.
Great.
So you don't know if he's dead or asleep.
No, I think we know.
He's bleeding out from the bite, and now he's dead.
No. Okay, so with that, I'm immediately gonna like rush up to him, and I don't know. I'm guessing I have some rope. I mean, I do have some in my inventory, but I don't know if I would have it on me for these purposes. Let's just say that I do.
I think it's fine because you guys already knew to be on alert. If you had not
Yeah.
known that there was some suspicious stuff happening around, I might have said no, but
Okay.
I think it's reasonable for you to have some of your belongings on you.
Okay, yeah, I do have it looks like some hempen rope, so I'm gonna go ahead and tie his hands, and I'm going to kind of like look at Lena, who's still in direwolf form, and say, I'm bringing him over to the house. I'm gonna try and get some answers out of him.
I give you a nod, and I'm gonna pick him up by like the back of his like shirt, so I can carry him. I want to.
I love that.
Yeah, I want to carry him back.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
As you guys do this, you hear what sounds like a gunshot off in the distance. 2 of them.
It's me.
Hi, Isaac. What brings you here? Well.
You guys know one person who had a double-barreled weapon.
Yeah, one of the original people that came up at it. Okay, so if we want to like hot-foot it over to the house, have my parents come out?
No, they stayed put like you told them to.
Wow. Okay. Cool. I'm going to kind of like when we approach and we get there. We're going fast, from what I understand. I'm gonna just call out to them. Say, Ma, Pa, I got one of them. Can we tie him up somewhere?
As you get back towards the house, you see your father posted by the door/window, looking out, keeping an eye on things, but they did stay inside as they were told. And as soon as you bring him in, even as you ask the question, he immediately drags him over more near the fireplace in the center of the sitting room. Well, center of the wall in the sitting room, and pulls out some rope from a container there and starts binding him even more heavily.
Good.
To a chair over in that area.
And I quickly just say, I think there's more coming. And I kind of like look behind me, like to the front of the door, and then back at him, at my father, and say, I think these people know Holden, and I think that we have some trouble.
Sorry, I heard a voice.
There's people like having a conversation outside my house, so that's fun.
Cool, invite them in. They can play these 2 characters.
Yeah.
They'll be like, what? Your ma sees kind of not panicky. She's decent under pressure, but she seems a little unsure of what to do here because you just dragged a dude who is unconscious into the house, and Lena's a wolf, which that's a whole thing. Blah blah blah. So she's not frozen necessarily, but she just seems unsure what to do. But your father, after finishing binding the first guy, immediately makes his way back to the doorway where there's that spot between the door and the window. Picks up his shotgun once again, and he says, "Well, at this point, I suspect it doesn't matter much whether we want him to come or not. I think we best be prepared for whatever's about to happen."
I agree.
And in one hand, he goes, "Ch-ch."
I love it. Aw, I love my dad. All right.
So
I'm gonna I'm gonna just turn around and immediately just go back outside.
Okay.
It's like the ending of Skyfall.
But less shitty.
No, that's a good one.
Yeah, the ending's not bad. It's the whole middle third that I'm not real sold on. Intro's good though. Just onto the patio or like out?
That's a good question. I think I'm gonna kind of stop once I get to the porch and kind of look out and see if I can see any movement. But I am gonna start making my way back out off the porch and to kind of where the battle zone had been before.
Okay. Lena, what are you up to?
I'm gonna go with you. I wonder if I could get a scent on anything, but probably not. So I'll just run up beside you and try to keep an eye out as well with my senses.
It's about at this point that the gentleman in the Blades armor who was asleep wakes up. Lasts a minute. And the lad's been having not the best of days. He's got puncture marks in his arm, and now he's all tied up in multiple ways and bound to a chair.
Oh, poor baby.
He is not gagged, so his first response as he takes a moment to kind of shake off the effects of the spell and figure out what the hell is going on around him is to ask what the hell is going on. Essentially, his words are, what the hell is going on? There weren't supposed to be this many here.
Ooh.
That's nice.
And Lena, who can't communicate with him, and Grail, who is now outside, basically leaves Rollins to answer. I wouldn't much worry about that right now, boy. I would keep your mouth shut, and we'll get to you in just a minute. And
I love my dad. Anyway.
He decides that discretion is the better part of valor, and he does keep quiet for the time being. Grail, from your post on the porch, make a perception check.
Dope. Perception. 12.
You do indeed see what appears to be two figures approaching. Doesn't quite match what you might expect, in that instead of there being one that's like twice as tall as the other, they appear to be closer in height as these figures approach, and as there's now very little light left in the sky, you're not entirely sure who this is, but they are indeed approaching the front of the ranch at a pretty normal pace. They're not running towards you. They're not jogging towards you. They're walking.
Okay. I'm going to yell out once again and just say, if y'all want to see your friend again, alive, you better stop right in your tracks.
The two of them do stop, and you hear what is indeed a familiar voice of the female that you ran into yesterday. And she says, "Friend, I think you have the wrong idea. We're just helping pick up some trash around here as well. I promise you, we mean you no harm."
I'm going to just yell out, pardon? I'm confused. I don't know what's going on here.
She says, "I'll tell you what, I don't blame you for not wanting us to come closer. I get it. We'll just leave these here. You can do with them what you will, and you can think of it as a kind of peace offering of sorts."
Leave what?
You watch as the other figure suddenly returns back to the height that you would expect him to have been yesterday, as he seemingly, again, it's hard to tell from this distance, dumps two things on the ground in front of them. Look like decent size, possibly human shapes.
What the fuck? I have no idea what to say to this. I'm just gonna keep up with what I was saying. Our position hasn't changed. Tuck tail and leave now.
The two of them kind of look at each other for a moment. The gnome, at least, again, difficult to make out particulars here, but you can at least see in the shadows, the gnome still has not said a word in either of your conversations, but he kind of gives the other figure, the elf, a nod. And the two of them say, all right, we understand. We'll leave these here. Have a good one. And they turn, and they start walking back to the north.
Okay, well, I'm going to approach cautiously.
Me too.
Whatever. I was very confused. Yeah.
Can I pick up on a scent as I get closer of either of whatever these?
You can make a perception check.
Okay.
I think you might have advantage.
Oh, that'd be nice.
It's your wolf form. I don't know.
Oh. That's a critical fail. Because I...
Smells like bubble gum.
Unless I take
you're in
the...
your smell, so you have advantage.
Oh, and I should be taking the higher one.
Yes.
Oh, thank God. Okay, 23.
Okay.
I might have been... No, I never mind. I don't think I was doing it wrong before, but that's... Okay, I need to remember that. 23.
You can pick up on a scent. There is a light hint of perfume. There is a general smell of alcohol, and it certainly leads in the northerly direction.
Oh, okay.
Interesting. Oh, shit.
Oh, no! Grail!
And she's dead. So something happened with the internet there. We'll stop here, and we'll be back with more Anachroschism in just a moment.